Ah,
Okay.
All right, there we go. It's 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, no, correct. Okay, countdown. Countdown. Whoop, whoop. Girl, one of my tracks just came out. Oh, right on time. Perfect.
ain't that how it go?
That's okay.
Mhm. My cousin like, girl, what's going on?
What is all this?
I think countdown.
Mm, we
Welcome, welcome,
freestyling.
welcome. We are here on Transfusion, the podcast that ends confusion about transgender. Tonight we'll be talking about family support, and we actually have some family joining us. But first, let's introduce our host, Sister Chloe.
Hey, what's going on? This is How y'all doing today?
Fantastic, Sister Pocahontas.
Hey y'all, it's me, Pokaloke. Check me out.
And our
Fucking with
Sister
Mr. Ball.
Lachey.
You already know it's Lachey in the building, your number one vegan chef extraordinaire. Doing it as usual.
Absolutely. And I'm Miko. And today we have a special guest who is also Pocahontas' cousin because we're talking about family support. And from what I understand, she is hella supportive. We're going to get a little bit from her. But first, what does family support mean to you ladies?
I mean, it's self-explanatory. The support of the family. Y'all kick in and help me. Don't
Pay
don't
my
leave
bills.
me,
Take care of me.
don't leave me in the dirt doing all the work by myself. Support. I mean, support comes in so many different ways. No, no, real talk. It comes in so many ways, like emotionally. That's really, I think, when it comes to family, the subject of family, that is the rock that you go to, the people that you go to when everyone else is against you. That you know that your family's going to always be there.
Oh, that's my
And so that's
mama.
what we look for as trans people. That acceptance.
Yeah, I agree.
hmm And support can also be financial. It could be,
Yes.
I mean, very much so. I mean, a lot of times, here we are going through life trying to figure it out. Sometimes you need family to kick in to fill in those gaps because no, who else is going to do it, right?
No shade. Unfortunately, my mama fills in the gaps every month for me, bitch. I
Uh-uh.
Oh, that's
I ain't gonna
different.
hold you, but my mama pay my rent every month for me, bitch. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm sorry.
Your mom pays
Yeah,
your
I don't
rent
pay
like
no
that,
bills.
Chloe?
I don't pay no bills, baby. My mama do it for me.
That's
Really?
that's that's
I'm
ideal.
spoiled. She take care of my house and her house, and buys, and my mom goes grocery shopping for me every 2 weeks and brings me groceries and drops it off every 2 weeks.
She love her baby.
Yeah,
That
I'm her
is
only child, so she better love me.
Oh, okay.
all
Well,
right.
there you go.
She better. I think that's something you need to be thankful for. Cause
No,
baby,
I am thankful. I'm so thankful for my mama. I don't know what I do without her.
I mean,
oh,
no,
that's
but that's
beautiful. I
actually
never knew that, Chloe.
Yeah, bitch, I'm spoiled rotten, bitch. Bitch, my rent is $1,500 a month. My mama takes care of it all.
what your mama got money
Yes.
like that, huh?
Yeah, she's an insurance agent. She been at her place of business for like 30 years.
And see, that's a blessing. That's a blessing because a lot of us come from families that household families, or where it's just not like that. The generational wealth just didn't happen, and a lot of times we have to be the people lifting up our family.
Now my father he a deadbeat, but that's another story. But
Now, to be honest, because I try my best to be so self-sufficient, I've not asked my parents for nothing and half time feel guilty about asking. But my mom actually has paid my rent a few times before just because she know I won't ask and she'll pry it out of me. And when she just like she's trying to buy me a car now.
oh
So, I think my mom is extremely supportive now,
yes, I love it.
where you know, I felt like it was more turmoil in the beginning because my dad wasn't on board.
Hmm.
Now she is extra, whenever she can, she's like really, really supportive.
I would say my mom is extremely supportive too. I ain't never asked her to pay my rent because I'm a hustler. But when I was locked up in jail for 3 months, she kept my car note paid, my rent paid, and also my phone bill paid. And that's why I'm able to still have this phone because I've been having this phone number, the same number since 2002. But she took care of like when I wasn't able to do, she always have came through for me.
Oh, that was really a thing, bitch. I remember back in the day, we used to be like, take, can you take care of my phobia so I don't lose my number when a bitch really wanted to keep their number?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
shade.
Through
Yeah.
everything I've been through, I have had this number. What
Now,
what
That's
about
crazy.
what about you, Brittany? What does family support look like to you?
Um, Creating a space where you feel seen and heard, pretty much. Um, that's it for me. That's what I would need if I want to
Mm.
support, just being there for people that you love and showing them love, actual love, not what most people perceive love is supposed to be, which is probably conditional, without actual love, without conditions. So that's what
I
love
Yeah.
is
agree.
and support is to me.
Now, I want to ask a question. We had planned to have another guest on this show, and one of the reasons why I wanted this particular guest on the show because she had an extremely supportive family and a supportive father, which reminded me of the kind of support that I'm not sure if you guys remember the young lady named Jasmine who actually transitioned and her life was shown on television. We followed her transition on television. And she had a family that recognized early the feelings in her and what she was and tried their best to be supportive of that. Now we have, you know, laws against that kind of support. Now we have, uh, uh, an administration that says that that kind of support is child abuse. You're pushing your child early into doing this and into doing that. What do you consider Jasmine's family, a family that recognizes at a young age that I may have a transgender person in my family and supports the hormone therapy at a young age and supports the gender reassignment at a young age? What do you think about that kind of family?
Um, I mean, I just think that it really speaks to their family's character and how supportive they are of their child. I mean, I'm not gonna say I necessarily agree with doing it so early on, but I mean, hey, I mean, if you can, bitch, why not knock it out the park?
I think you'll say knock it out the park. But
Yeah.
I just sometimes wonder what my life would look like if I had the opportunity to be able to do everything I chose to do after I moved out of my family's home.
Like
If
Uh-huh.
I had the support to support me like when it came to HRT or going ahead and transition, not battling with am I gonna come out now? Am I gonna be forced out? Or do I have to hide? Do I have to be everything? If I just had the opportunity and the space to be able to be who I knew I was at a young age, and my little cousin Brittany can vouch for I've been me since she been born,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
being able to just be in a space to where I feel safe to be the true person I knew I was and not have to mentally deal with it in my head, like where would I be today?
That's the
Yeah.
scariest part, though, is
well, do you,
getting through the like you feeling like you're gonna just your family might disown you or they might not agree with your lifestyle and just suppressing your inner feelings and stuff like that. That'd be the hardest thing to overcome. But once I realized my mom and them didn't give a fuck, I was like, well, fuck it, bitch. And then my daddy found out later on, bitch. You just got to find out later.
so Pocahontas,
Yeah.
do you think that if you started earlier that it would have made a difference in the girl?
Absolutely, because I wouldn't have had to worry about. I think what happened when I finally transitioned, I think that took front seat over all of my talents,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
everything that was important to me and that was fun to me, because I was so lost and I wanted. It was so important to me that I was creating a safe space and a space to be me. That became front seat of everything, and I feel like I would have been a dancer. I feel like I would have went to college. I feel like I would have just did so much that I wanted to do if I wouldn't had to
Suppress
relearn
it.
myself.
I
Yeah.
was just talking to Pocahontas about this a second ago, and the reason why I wanted our guest to show up because had I had the life she had in middle school, I was a straight A student. They were trying to send me to a magnet school. I was smart. I was talented. I could design. My grandmother had set up a whole fashion show for me designing clothes because I was able to do that. She taught me how to be a barber. I was a barber. I had so many talents,
Hmm.
but I could not realize them because when I got to high school and puberty started hitting, and I started getting all these, I've always felt like a girl, but it became overwhelming when I got into high school and puberty started hitting and titties started growing out of nowhere and things started happening in my body that I couldn't figure out. I needed to, instead of graduating and going straight off to college, I
Mhm.
graduated and went straight to the streets trying to figure out who I was.
Me
Had I been
too.
able to explore who I was while I was in school, I might have gone right to college.
Well, so what made you not feel safe enough to speak to your family, the people that are supposed to be like the ones that understand you the most? How come?
Me and, me
Why
and
didn't
my
you feel
daddy almost
comfortable?
me and my daddy almost got into a fist fight because
Mhm.
I told my daddy for Halloween I wanted to be a witch and I wanted to wear a black and I wanted to wear a black dress.
You was trying to sneak it in.
Yeah, me and he didn't he was completely opposed to me wearing women's clothes. And when I left the house finally and started my transition, I wasn't allowed for the first 5 or 6 years in his house as a woman.
Mm.
Oh, oh,
So again, it that had I had that ability to be and exist as who I was in the first place in their house with that support, I wouldn't have waited till I was 34 to go to college. I might have gone to college right out of high school, but instead I had to go to the streets to figure out who I was first and
Yeah.
then go.
and then just to go back on to piggyback on what we were talking, the original question about jazz. I think, and in reflection to what you were saying about your family, with Jazz, I think with her, she kind of declared it at a very young age. From what I understand, if I remember that show, she spoke on her transition. She knew she was a girl, and she kind of fought for her existence at a very young age. I think it was so young that they had to take her seriously because it wasn't, she was so young. It wasn't something a child, like, it's not coming from a sexual place. So they took her seriously at a young age. But I don't think, it's not everybody's family doesn't have that level of safety.
Yeah.
And let me also say, I also don't blame my father for how he feels because again, he's come around now. I don't blame my father for back then because a lot of, especially black men, looked at this as play. They looked at it as something that, like we were just trying to buck the system and go against religion or go against, you know what I'm saying? They didn't realize that there were actually biological things standing behind it.
Mhm.
And then until it became a bigger thing where we were fighting for rights and fighting for and understanding gender dysphoria and understanding where that comes from and understanding the hormonal imbalances, until all that came into play, most black fathers just did not understand it. And he was one of those ones.
You want to know something? I had my dad never really just acknowledged me being trans until probably about 3 years into my transition, and I had just got my boobs done, I think, and I was at my daddy's house doing my sister's hair for her prom, or I think it was her prom or homecoming, one of the two. And as I was doing her hair or whatever, he came into the bathroom and he ran his fingers through my hair. I had like 40 inches down my ass. He ran his fingers through my hair. He said, "Damn, this is really cute." And then he looked at me and he was like, "You actually kind of pretty." And I was just
See,
like, "Oh, excuse me."
Your daddy
he
full of shit. Your
he
daddy full
must
of shit.
that
Shut up, bitch.
that sounds like he already knew you was
Yeah.
a girl because. I mean, if he really thought he had a son that was just full straight, and then all of a sudden you have a weave down your back, and he just took it like it wasn't nothing.
No, no, no,
He,
no, no. At first, he didn't acknowledge it. Like I wasn't really around him often, but he never really just said anything to me about it. It wasn't until I got my boobs done, and then he was like, "Oh, so you really finna do this?" And I was like, "Yep. Well, I already did it, bitch. I got tits on my chest now." And then he kind of started warming up to it, and then he told me I was pretty, and then it just kind of went from there. But it took a while for him to kind of get used to it. But I have 5 sisters on my daddy's side, so I was the only boy.
I just
And
don't
I was
see
his
you.
first child.
I don't ever see you just living like full boy. I just can't see it.
No, no, no. I never really was. Bitch. I was a. Everybody used to say I look like a stud.
Something,
Yeah,
because
it
I
was
don't.
giving Will Dagger.
I don't know. I just never saw you. I can't see you like in like a ball top ballpoint
I
face.
tried to play football and stuff, but it just wasn't for me. I hated getting tackled. I said, "Oh, baby, I want to be a cheerleader."
Oh, I thought
Girl,
I
thank
thought that
you.
was the best part, getting tackled and stuff.
Yeah,
Girl,
the best part was being in the locker room, bitch. Fuck all that.
Okay, yes, locker room.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
No, you fine.
Hey
Okay,
y'all. Oh, hey
so
people in the comments. Javon Martin, creative mistress. Hey.
I
hey,
want to I want to
welcome.
ask our guest, our,
Okay.
our show guest. I want to ask you. Okay, since you grew up with Pocahontas, um, what was something like? At what point did
Smooth.
she realize? At what point did you realize that okay, there's something up with my cousin? Did she come out and tell you?
I think we always knew. I remember my mama talking about Hoka being on the football field and wanting to dance with the cheerleaders. But I was also gay, so I was just glad that I had somebody that I could be gay with. So
Yes. Yes.
I
Right.
was just like, okay. So listening to my mom's conversation about it and her not being upset, not too upset, then I was like, okay, then it's okay to be gay or queer. So, but I was never anti-gay or anything like that. I just want people to be people. So,
Okay, you were the cool cousin.
Mhm.
no, I was a quiet cousin.
She
You
the
were.
So,
cousin.
oh, go
And
ahead.
you know what was crazy? And it's always like this. When it's someone else's child, it's okay. But when it's your child, oh, it's
Yeah.
problematic.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
I was just gonna say, that because okay, Nick is my blood cousin, the one that do makeup,
no, I
and
didn't know that.
oh yeah, that's my blood cousin. And growing up, he was like always like 4 or 5 years older than me. And so I would hear like my grandparents on my daddy's side and them, they would be talking about him, calling him faggots and this is that the other like that and he's the only gay person in my family. And so me hearing them say stuff like that and talk about him and laugh about him like behind his back, it scared me. It scared me. That's why I held it in for so long because I was like, bitch, I don't want them talking about me like that. Like, no, 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 no.
And you know what? It was a thing for my family too, because before I came out, like right before, like a little before, like a little after I was born, I had a gay cousin who died from HIV.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
So my family had this thing. I don't. Did you ever get to meet Marvin, Brittany?
I remember mama dropping him off at the hospital when I was a child and then never seeing him again. I think we just completely abandoned him. And I feel so bad about that because, like,
Yeah.
yeah, we just
Even to this day, I
never
still be
talked
looking
about
for
it.
like people to people that like at one point because he was living in Dallas. So I know some of the OGs got to know who my cousin was, but
Hmm.
so far no one has really said they knew who Marvin was, and he carried the name Duval like I carried the name Duval.
oh,
Hmm.
Like
wow.
the house name device. I'm like, somebody got to know who my cousin was, and I just want to hear like stories and stuff because
Yeah.
when he was HIV positive, this is around 80. This is around 86, 87, around that time when like the black families really didn't have a lot of information on
Hmm.
about HIV. So when he would come over, I remember like they having him like eat out of eat with a certain silverware, like a fork and a
Uh,
spoon.
Hmm. That's
Anytime he would sit somewhere, they would like bleach the area down or like my mama, she loved him, but like she was taught like if he come over, he's HIV positive. So when he eat off of something, you got to throw it away.
is that a thing for real?
People were
Yeah,
Yeah.
scared. They were
people
so
did, but they
scared.
didn't know it was. And
That
then the
all they
media,
knew that people was dying in a month or two.
No, but I'm
yeah.
saying, is that really a way that you could catch it, like by eating off
You
something? So,
can, no,
No.
I'm
no,
sorry. You cannot, that's, it pisses me off. You cannot catch AIDS from kissing.
oh,
It
okay.
is a sexual thing. You have
That's
to
what I
have
thought.
yeah,
actual intercourse or blood-borne pathogens,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
period. If you kiss a
blood,
person with
semen,
AIDS, you
breast
can touch,
milk,
yes, thank you.
and vaginal fluid.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I was
So
just
do you
curious.
think that that's what fueled your advocacy
Advocacy.
work, Pocahontas?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
interesting.
That and
I never
also
really
being
heard that.
connected to like so many people that was positive and losing so many people at a young age. And then also becoming a parent and being protective over the ones I love.
Hmm.
That kind of made me educate myself. And then also when I first came out, my first safe space was this house called a House of Osiris in the Renaissance 3. I don't know, Shay, if you remember, but I know you picked up me and Lethos from it. It's like a young boys and girls club for LGBTQ members, um, or individuals that identify the LGBTQ.
Are they
And
still
they
open?
no. Did you get a piece of that? Oh no, I thought they came before you. I think they closed down before
Before I
you
got here.
came
Yeah.
out. But yeah, it was like a youth center to where we came and we talked about it. And the person who was over it was Dunn Sneed, which is the person who gave me the name Pocahontas.
Oh wow.
And he was HIV positive and lately turned. Well, I think he was full blown AIDS. I think he had full blown AIDS. Anyway, go. He was positive. But yeah, so he taught us a lot about advocating for ourselves, advocating for community, not taking on bullshit. But the way he taught us, and we didn't even know what was going on. But I know anytime like we would go to City Springs talk about Black Lives Matters and stuff, he would have us put on like these army fatigue outfits like we was going to war. And I didn't really know what we was doing, but what drew us in was that he would give us $25. And a girl coming in 17 years old and 16 years old and get $25, we don't give a damn what you want us to say. We about to say it because we
Yeah.
gonna go buy some snacks, we go have some fun with it, and we about to go get on a bus and ride and do some things. But he was pointing to us, and I don't even think we knew that we was advocating in that time until like now that I see myself a lot farther along when it comes to advocacy, and I realize like standing up what he was really pointing to us, and he gave us this desire to advocate for ourselves and advocate for our community. And we wasn't even knowing what we was doing. We were just going to go dress up in uniforms, go down the street and tell white people how terrible people they was, and and black gay people lives matter. We would, girl, we would be. It would be so crazy because we would go out there and try to fight the white because we was young ghetto kids, you know. We
Yeah.
would go run up on the white gays and stuff and try to fight them. Fuck your life, our life matter too. Because we really didn't know like the movement we was a part of. We were just glad to be a part of something, and then also glad to be able to receive some money for something we was doing.
Hello.
Mhm.
Hey,
So,
Well, that's interesting that
Cassiano.
that kind of set the course of the direction that you started heading with your life. You know, it's kind of it planted the seed for who you are today, having
mhm.
that support and having those people interacting with you at a young age. So it just goes to show how at a young age how that kind of thing can really make a big difference.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, to your point, Miko. I mean, anything could have happened if you just had like some support to maybe pursue some of your other dreams.
Yeah.
Um, Not to say that they're not achievable without family support, but it's just that's just one extra layer, even
I think
emotionally.
family support is a head start. It starts you in a different place with your
hmm
transition. You know what I mean?
Emotionally.
Question: is there a certain
Emotionally,
age that you should start advocacy work? Like, is it like like do they usually start younger or like older? Like,
No, I don't know if you're talking about, but I think you start advocating for yourself when you begin to speak and you say things like, "No, I don't want to go,"
oh,
or I think advocate and people want to put like a strong description of what advocacy looks like,
hmm,
but advocacy is you advocate for yourself. You everybody is to me their own individual
advocate.
advocate.
Hmm.
hmm
But I think it depends on like what kind of platforms are you trying to advocate for community? Are you trying to be a part of a movement within your own community? I think people don't
Mm,
realize they already are advocates and they just have to keep advocating. But I think people like the idea of being able to be recognized for advocate by advocating
mm,
for other people.
I got you.
right.
Which in reality, like you already advocate. You advocate for the House of Undutch every day.
Right.
You're a strong advocate. Every time you sit on a panel, you advocate. Anytime you taking somebody in and teaching them, you talking about bringing them aware of what the situation is going on. I think you're a really strong advocate, and people just don't realize it because they have this certain way. They feel like it's this certain look of what
Right.
advocacy look like.
Right. Right.
Damn. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely. That's why I'm keeping you close to me. I be telling them all the time, this bitch really in training. She thinks she know everything, but I'm really training her to be everything and challenge her to the things she don't know she need to be learning.
So, guys, going back to that jazz situation, just to kind of bring it back around one more time. Do y'all think that it's better for a family to encourage SRS at a young age, or should they allow the person to develop, until and
I
then
think
make that decision on their own later?
I think you should wait. Like, I don't think that I wouldn't be encouraging nobody to have no SRS surgery at no young age. Like that. That's not a thing. That's not a thing that I would consider. Because
But
I
were
think
her
that
parents encouraging that, or were they just kind of supporting
Because
what she wanted?
I think in my opinion, I think that's our scary. answer because we don't want to seem like we're influencing anything. But if
Yeah.
we are really real, like you just said, football wasn't good for you, and traditionally, and the binary thing for young black boys or just young boys period to do is to get into a sport like football,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
a masculine sport or something like that. And if a person just knew like something was going on, because I'm sure family knows like how just knew what was going on. Hold
My
on.
mama said she always knew.
Yeah.
I see that.
Knew what was going on and just supported, kind of guided, like kind of pay attention to your child. Like each one of my kids that I have, I know each one of them going like I know Yolanda, I know she's reaching for, she loves attention. You got to give her some kind of attention. While on the other side, Lamaya likes to be left alone.
Right.
So paying
Mm-hmm.
attention to the direction that your child is in and not like pulling them in like, so I give your Maya more attention and I kind of leave Yolanda alone, but I make sure she get attention as well. I just kind of like learning your kids and just being supportive in the things they need and not trying to have your own agenda and put what you want for their life in front of like the needs of them. I feel like if you don't do that, you'll miss so many opportunities. And it don't affect, and at the end of the day, it affects the child because you stop supporting them and they
Mm-hmm.
become distant. You know,
Mm-hmm.
did I break that down right? Because I was all over
I
the
think so.
place.
No,
I think so.
you're,
Yeah.
I totally understand, and it also goes back to the question because we've had this question before on this show. You know, do we think, especially when they started banning and making legislation against and outlawing children or minor receiving corrective surgeries or HRT or stuff like that, and which we already knew children really couldn't get on that sort of thing without parents' approval anyway. Parents had to
Mm-hmm.
help them do that. But it's becoming against the legislation. And so we kind of all had that conversation before. When do you think is the appropriate time to let your child do this or explore this? Um, and what Jasmine's family did is just let Jasmine
Be Jasmine.
be Jasmine and explore what she wants. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so, but now that would be seen as a bad thing. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it just would depend on the child. I don't think that I would force nothing down nobody's throat, but I mean, if this was something that they honestly wanted, then I wouldn't be opposed to it. I guess. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense that
Just think
I,
about like if you do you think like certain things like if a child was raised up in a home being accepted in the home being a safe space first, do you
Mhm.
think you would have went through like some of the things you went through, Chloe, like when you came out and got amongst like the young, the young ones that you got amongst like the Days and all the other people? Do you think they would have been able to influence you
So
in a different direction?
I think that if I would have, so here's the thing is that I suppressed who I was until I was probably about 16, 17 years old. And when I first came out to my mama and my granny on my mama's side, the first thing my granny asked me on the phone, she says, "So are you the girl or the boy?" And I said, "What you mean?" And she said, "Are you doing the fucking or are you getting fucked?" And I said, "Oh, I'm definitely getting fucked," because I was a bottom at the time.
but what
and
made you what made you come out though? Like what was the
uh,
reason?
I think that I was. Oh, okay. So what happened was I was okay. Y'all remember them sidekicks, them T-Mobile sidekicks? Move.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I had one of those. I had just got one of those, and I was at Dallas Can Academy, and I was up under my desk texting a dude, and I was telling him send me a dick picture. Well, in the mix of texting this dude, my mom texted me, and I accidentally, I guess, clicked hers, and I sent the message to her saying send me a dick picture at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and
Uh-huh.
she's like, what the fuck? What's she talking about? Like, what the fuck is this? And I was like. So I avoided her for like 2 weeks. At the time, I had a car, so I was driving myself back and forth to school. But I was like avoiding her. When she would be at home, I would be gone. When she would be at work, I would be at the house. And so finally, she called me one day. She stayed home from work or whatever, and I thought she was gone. I walked in the house, bitch, and she was right there. I was like, "Fuck." And she was like, "Okay, let's have a conversation. Come on, come on." And she had my nana on the phone, and they basically just talked to me, and they was like, "So what's going on?" And I was just like, "I think I'm gay." Actually, I said, I think I'm gay. Actually, no, I know I'm gay. And I just didn't know how to tell y'all. And they basically like was like, well, we love you, we accept you, or whatever. And this is that the third. I ended up making a long post on Facebook. This was, no, MySpace. This was MySpace was the thing. And they sat there and read through the post before I posted it. I had a girlfriend at the time, and I posted it, and then my daddy calls me like 2 days later. He was like, "Was this something you wanted to tell me?" And I was like, "Well, clearly you seen the post on MySpace, so you got the memo." And and that was that. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of it slipped up, and I wasn't gonna hide it no more. I was tired of hiding.
They
Yeah,
didn't
when
get
I
mad. They didn't get upset.
No, no.
I think a lot of times parents they just want what's best for us. They really want to. They want us to have just a normal, healthy life. Where we have kids, the whole white picket fence.
Did y'all
And
go through?
when
Did
that
y'all go through
when
people calling y'all gay when y'all was growing up? Like people used to always say that I was gay. They was like, "Oh, he gonna be gay," or "He gonna be like." They used to always do me that because I had a high pitched voice. I was really feminine acting. I was raised by with five sisters, so I was the only boy, and so they always used to tell me, "Oh, he gonna be gay. He gonna be gay," and I never knew what the fuck gay was. And then one day it just was like, "Okay, well, bitch, I guess I'm gay."
I've had family when I was younger and didn't really understand it, and it wasn't until I got older to realize what they were talking about. I've
Yeah.
had family jokingly say before me, he got that sugar. He
Oh,
got that
yep.
sugar. And he got it, you know what I'm saying? I've heard that. But it didn't mean anything to me because I didn't know
Hmm.
what they were talking about. It wasn't until I got older that I kind of reflected on it. Oh, okay, that's what they were saying. I also had my mom come out directly once, I think I was probably about 12 or 13, 14, and come out directly and ask me, so do you think he might be gay? And and of course, because of who my daddy was, and of course, I instantly said no. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
no.
So,
the crazy thing for me is my family knew I was gay until I came out and said I was gay. When I said I think I'm gay, but the twist is none of us knew. All of us thought we was right in saying I was gay, but none of us knew I was actually trans. It was scary because my dad used to tell me when I looked at like if I would see something like RuPaul or something come up, or if I
mhm.
see like any girls or drag anything with drag, he used to teach me that they was killer clowns.
What?
what?
Hold on. It's funny you say. It's funny you say that. You know what what my dad used to do? He used to take me to Hooters every other Saturday and try to force me to like boobs and like look at the girls. And I was like, bitch, I don't want to be here looking at these bitches. Like, take me up, get me up out of here, bitch. I hated Hooters.
Look, and
Bitch.
conversely, my
This bitch at
grandmother,
Hooters.
I knew nothing about drag at the time, and the first
Ooh.
trans woman I saw was on Sally Jesse Raphael, and she was beautiful. And I thought, oh, men can become women. And it wasn't after that, my grandmother started saying stuff like, have you ever heard of someone named RuPaul? You should probably see and go look this person up. Go see who RuPaul is. I think you really like him. And she just used to say stuff, and I never did, but she used to say stuff like that to me. And it wasn't until I got older and realized who RuPaul was that I realized what she was talking
I'm screaming.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was terrified of drag queens, trans women. I always thought they was killer clowns. He had really advanced, but then I had seen Essence. When I seen Essence, we was in a hub. We was in Prince Hall Apartments, and here come Essence and my daddy Nunu, who ended up becoming my gay father. They come walking through. Oh, I'm terrified. Oh, I am terrified. And my best friend not knowing like, why are you acting like this? Because this bitch is about to kill us and nobody knows what's going on. I said, keep me away from her. I said, if you want to be cool with her, you be cool with her. I said, but I can't be around her. I said, because she's gonna kill me.
Hold on,
My
you
daddy
really
had
thought that? You actually
I
thought that
had
you were
really thought that I tried to get, and I was so mean to them. I was so mean to them when I found out it was gay people staying in the area. I
Uh-huh.
was so, and they would tell you I had them jumped.
The
Poker.
the first
I had
transsexual I ever seen was Silky, bitch, and I thought she was drop dead gorgeous. It was Silky, and then I seen Brown Sugar, and I was scared. I was scared of Brown
bitch. I
Sugar.
had somebody in bed. I seen it was Estes and Sasha Valentino.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know her.
Oh,
about. Bitch,
she
Tasha tried to get me to be her daughter, and I didn't know who she was, so
oh my
I
god!
disagreed
See,
to
I
it.
seen Essence. Essence was scary because she looked like a she used to do the drag stuff.
Ah.
But Sasha Valentino, when she came through, Oh, bitch, she was like, oh, bitch, she was so pretty. I was just like, oh
Uh-uh.
my God. And she used to walk like this. And all you seen was them titties, and her face was just so pretty. She was just, it was just like I was just like everything that he had taught me had erased when I seen her. But see, ever since she was scaring the shit out of me.
Stop saying
Uh-uh,
it.
Too
What
funny.
you
listen.
did?
She really did. She was scaring the shit out of me. But when I seen Sasha, I was just instantly just. I used to sit on the green box just to wait for her to walk to her car because I just wanted to see her and just seeing her. Just seeing her just was like,
It was like a movie star.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just did something to me. And my friend Roxanne, she would always be like, "Why are you so excited about seeing her?" I said, "I don't know. I just think she's so pretty." She was like, "So you like people like that?" And I was like, bitch, I think I love people like that. I was
Uh-uh.
like, she is just so pretty. And then I started coming out to her. And yeah, she just was different. Essence scared me.
Stop
Now
saying
look,
it.
Silky, I was in person was the first real transgender woman I saw.
Me too.
And it was because she was performing and she had just started,
She
you
was doing
know,
Breaking Dishes
doing
by
she,
Rihanna
she
when I
had
met her.
she had just started doing her transition fully, so she was hormonal, so all she had was hormone titties. But
Mhm.
she came out on stage, standing on stage, ass naked, and had something, and it was tucked and had something. And so somebody took a picture of that, and it ended up with my friend Kivano, and I stole that picture. I
Oh,
put that I put that picture in at my house in the drawer that I knew my daddy would see it.
oh my God.
When he pulled out, he was going through there somewhere, and he looked at the picture. I said, "Oh, look at her." And my mom said, "Oh, she's pretty."
Oh,
And
you trying to see if he was
my
gonna
dad
pop the
kind of
tea?
my dad kind of looked at her and said, "Who is that?" I said, "That's a trans woman." And he instantly threw the picture down and said, "Oh."
Oh, yeah.
So I was
Do
just like,
y'all do y'all realize we have became the women that people see for the first time?
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
crazy.
definitely. That's why I carry myself the way I do because you never know, like you never know the
Who you might
impact you
make an
have.
impression on? Yeah.
Yeah, Bree, you never. Why don't you tell us about your coming out story?
I mean, I
Boom,
told
bang,
my
pow, gone.
I mean, I told my mom the night before I was going off to college because I didn't know how she would react. So I knew I had a way out. And she was just like, "Yeah, I'm gay too." So
Ah,
she was just, kind of dismissive, like poking at my mom. And she's wild.
Her
So
mama,
she's
wait a
just,
minute, everybody on this show knows your mama. Her mama Jacqueline.
well, y'all
mm.
know.
You play too much.
Do y'all know Jacqueline? Y'all remember Jacqueline?
How will we remember? Make us
I don't
remember.
know.
Okay, so the
She
house in
got a
South Dallas.
taser fight. She's got a taser.
Let me see.
She's drunk.
Oh.
Don't do all that, Brittany.
Girl,
She is. That's what
Um,
we get away from, telling the truth.
right.
so Jackie is my cousin that comes over. And actually, she don't even drink anymore. Um, she's my cousin that comes over that's really loud.
I remember.
Um, y'all will remember. Y'all will remember if I showed her who she was, but y'all definitely all have met.
I
Except for
remember.
probably Chloe.
We have to see her. Okay, one of those. But yeah, I was just curious. I was just curious
But
because I know it's. I was just wondering if it's any different for you. Being biological female. Sometimes people take it a lot easier. Generally.
She didn't say anything to me directly, but she would say that she didn't approve um, around other family members, but I never really paid attention to what they thought. I didn't respect what they did, so I didn't think they had a right to speak on my life when they was doing all kind of crazy stuff in their lives. And I was like,
Hey.
being gay is like the least of my
Oh.
problems. Like
right.
we got we got the patriarchy, we got white folks, doing evil. It was so little about my identity that it doesn't even now I'm not I'm so I would describe myself as extremely queer, not even a lesbian anymore. I'm just very, very gay. So, you know, I'm beyond all of the labels. I really feel like even gender itself is not even a real thing. Like we just made it up so people can put you in categories, so men can know which one of us to fuck.
I
So
agree. I
that's
agree.
just I don't. None of it is real to
And
me.
it's definitely the girls like Miko and Pocahontas, older girls who paved the way for the girls like like me and Amber, like younger girls who can just who what I'm saying, can come out the closet a lot easier and freer
Did she
now.
just say I was a young girl?
Me
Girl,
and
she
you
said,
on the other
she
side.
said
Hold on,
older
you put
girls
me and
like
you in the
me and
same bracket,
Pocahontas.
bitch?
Some of the girls, they paved the way. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, they did.
This bitch said older girls like me and Pocahontas
Yeah,
paved
yeah,
the way
y'all
for
up you and Poker, yeah, y'all older. Bitch,
No,
no, they gagged me
and we
with
thank
this.
you.
No,
this.
hold on, it gave me because what somebody was telling me a story about Miko. They was like back in like 1995 in Carrollton. I said, damn, she was a girl back then. I said,
Oh,
god
damn. Lied to
damn.
you, bitch. I didn't graduate till 97.
Well, I knew something close to that.
Uh, uh,
Girl.
That's okay, Lachey. This is a safe space for you to feel under 50.
I be play. I play all day.
Yeah, it's fine. No
Oh.
worry. I just want you to feel safe.
No, I gotta kick it up and shake up the mood a little bit. Make sure you're still there. But yeah, no, honestly, no, we really did. Like, honestly, to the point though, I think it was a lot harder to come out, and people would react a lot more severe in the '90s and the 2000s. My mom went to slapping me upside of my head when she found that letter that I wrote to my boyfriend and that I had hidden in a book. She was like popping me upside my head, like she couldn't believe it. I mean, and she came around. I mean, they come around over time, but
Yeah, they do.
like it sounded like y'all had some real easy come out
I,
stories.
I wouldn't say it's easy because even though like it may seem like they was accepted, I think, and we talk about this later on in some of the questions if we ever ask the questions. I think they tolerated us because of the love. I think they tolerated us, but it still was like limits. Okay, you could be gay, but be gay and quiet.
Right.
You don't get to be gay and bring your love around. It's like let's just say my cousin wanted to bring one of his girlfriends around. It's not be gay and bring your boyfriend into my house and we welcome him and he be able to eat dinner at the table and ride around and it's not giving that type of
Oh no, I definitely was bringing my man
acceptance.
at the house. Girl, Daddy was sleeping at my mama's floor. My mama was so cool, mind you. I was young. I was young. My mama was so cool. She let Daddy come stay with us for a little bit. Daddy Gotti, and one day it would piss me off because I went to school. He was still at the house, and he had somebody come over from like Jack the Grinder or something like that. Oh, he gonna hate me for saying this, but my mama called me and she was like 9 o'clock in the morning. She was like, "Why do I hear Daddy screaming and moaning from your bedroom?" And I was like, "Excuse
Ooh.
me." And I went off
Oh.
on that because I was like, bitch, like you could have at least waited till my mama went to work before you had a boy over at my mama house. Like, girl, he was like, well, he had to be at work at 10 o'clock. I said, bitch, well, find somebody else.
Girl, wow.
Oh, he had pissed
Oh
me
my!
off.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
at
that would have
school.
been
My mama
so
texted me talk
disrespectful.
about I'm getting woke up today moaning. I said, oh Lord,
Oh, my God.
I
Yeah,
it's
wouldn't
see,
have
my
crazy.
put
daddy
him.
told me very clearly uh, because I didn't come out to them necessarily. They found out I was gay because when I was 18, I basically didn't run away from home. I just left and moved in with some gay folks that I had worked with at this my first job. I had left the house and just lived with them and didn't tell nobody because I didn't want nobody in my business. Well, it turns out that they were living in an apartment complex that was right across the street from my uncle, my mom's brother, who is the coolest thing in the world. And so he actually was taking care of me at that time. But of course, it got back to my family that, I was living with some gays and I was, what I'm saying? So I must be gay. And then I started getting family trying to get in contact with me, asking me questions and all this. And so after that, it took maybe another year or two before I decided to start transitioning. And because I was doing soft transition, once I left the house, I started playing and dress up and, kind of just feeling it out and everything. But my dad came to when me and him finally saw each other again. He came and was like, I don't have a problem with you being gay, but why you gotta dress up?
So, at what
And
point did you realize that you weren't like all of us? At what point did y'all realize that okay, I'm not a gay man?
the minute I started dressing up,
Yeah, I was like 16,
It
17.
just feels right.
the
Mm-hmm.
very let me tell you something, and this is why I always hold Grandma Didi in such high regard, is because, of course, because me and my dad almost got into a fight because I wanted to go for a wish for Halloween. One Halloween when I was living with my grandmother, and this was when I was 19. This is after I had moved back from the gays and was living with my grandmother. I was working this other job, and they were going to have a costume contest. And I decided for the first time in my life I was going to be a woman. So I went to the school. I went to the wig shop, got me a wig. Went to the
Bitch, you kept trying it.
I went to Charlotte Russe, bought me a whole outfit, and did, you know what I'm saying? I went did the whole thing. And when I got up to get dressed that morning, I threw on the clothes, threw on the wig, was about to hit the door. My grandma said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm gonna go." I said, "I'm gonna go." My mama said, "Oh," she said, "Oh no, you ain't going out like that." She set me down, beat my mug, cut the wig into layers, and said,
Oh,
"This is how you look like a woman."
oh, I thought she was
And
gonna make you. I thought she was about to slay you.
Me too.
she set me down and beat my mug and cut my wig into layers and had me looking fly as fuck. And
I'm
when I
running in
left,
tears.
and after that, because of the reaction I got from the world, nobody got my tea for some reason. And I didn't think I was out. I thought I was clocky as hell. But everybody, even the boy, even them ignorant ass niggas that used to work at that job, was opening doors for me before they realized who I was. And I thought, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be.
That's
I'm
what.
supposed to
That's
be.
what. If people ask me why do I deal with my old friend that's deceased now, Jamie. We wasn't friends when he died. I have to say that because it's a long story behind it, but I just have to say that. But I keep a strong relationship with y'all. Know the lady be always drunk and singing on my phone and stuff. Elaine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's who she was to me. She gave me my first wig and stuff. So I used to be with Jamie and all them was the big gays, and they had already been on the scene before I was out. But I used to be with them, but it was always something different. And she gave me this human hair wig. It was one I had seen this wig on. I was like, girl, that wig is cute. And I used to do her too. So I would always flatter her and play with it on my head. She said, so I want you to have that wig. She had gave me that wig. And baby, when I say I wore that wig to every string of hair was out of it. But when she put that wig on me and styled that wig on me, baby, I felt so free. I
Yeah.
felt like a different person. I'm talking about I was walking up and down the street, not the prostitute. I just wanted people to
The
see me
Bob.
in that damn wig.
Hmm.
Yes.
I wanted people to see me in that wig because when she put that wig on me, I felt like a totally different person. And to this day, why I still be cool with her and I still have so much respect for her is because she support like my shows and she forces me to like get into yourself and when she be around all she hang around like all the hood niggas and everything like that. She be like, hey y'all, come look at my daughter. Ain't she pretty? Ain't she pretty? And it's just
Mhm.
I just love and appreciate her so much, and I don't care how crazy she is. She is gonna always be my girl, just for that reason, because she loved me and seen me before a lot of people really just seen me like that, and she pushed me to who be true to who I was and accepted me, and I just appreciate her so much. So shout out for Mama Elaine. I love you, girl. That's why I take your calls 3 o'clock in the morning when you just want to sing, and I sit on the phone for hours.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I love her so much. And
Hey,
somebody said something in the comments. I don't want us to not pay
yeah, the
attention to the comments
comments.
because they saying some
Oh.
stuff in his comments.
Yeah.
Hey, Island Browning. I think that's Sally. Sally said, "Hey, girls." Christopher
Hey.
Hey.
Christopher Patterson said, "Hey, hey, glad to see you
Hey.
all. You all still going." Um. Oh, Katiana says, "I work in healthcare where I see in some race minors' parents are pushing the child to do the surgery, thinking it would help with their behavior."
Absolutely. They think that it's the right thing to do because it's putting them on a normal course of behavior, thinking that that's, right where
I
they
didn't
are
know that
right
was a
then in their
thing.
transition. They think right then in their transition is where they're going to be their whole transition. And they don't realize transitions have an evolutionary period. And you may
Yeah.
start as one girl, but then you might start developing and realizing that your tastes, you have, growing tastes.
True.
So, I mean, that's where I kind of agree with maybe we should kind of give it a minute. But at the same time, there are some girls like our guest that we were going to have, she was very sure that's what she wanted, and she didn't feel good looking at herself at all. And so she wanted to make that change right then and there. So I mean, we all have different
Levels of
circumstances.
dysphoria. Yeah.
Hmm.
So how do we kind of monitor like how far you should go at a young age and how far a parent should allow you to go?
Mm,
I feel like we. I want the support of the parent, but I also don't want to be too deep in something before I'm really sure it's what I want to do as well. Because me being 41 now, I have seen so many girls who I thought would forever be girls detransition.
Hmm.
really?
Because
Yes.
absolutely, because life switches up.
Hmm.
And like things in life happens and life get to life and stuff, and you realize, oh, you thought it was peaches and creams and it was flowers and rainbows and hearts and all that type of stuff, but then you also step into reality after a certain age when you're not that high girl no more. Being trans also mean you walk away from a lot of relationships that you valued. Being
Hmm.
trans mean you might be single for the rest of your life. Being trans mean you're not always accepted in certain spaces. Being
True.
trans is not the easiest thing to do, and a lot of times people can't deal with like some of the things that come with being trans. Also, being trans means you're not always invited to every family gathering.
True.
True.
Can I
Oh,
interject?
uh-huh.
Uh, well, maybe they wouldn't have to detransition if we had a society that would accept people transitioning. But even in the example, you're saying, oh, well, it's hard because your family didn't accept you. It's not that they didn't want to be trans. Maybe they didn't look, you know, feminine as they wanted to look, or their family didn't accept them. If they had an accepting family, maybe they would have stayed if
Mm-hmm.
they were in a community that wanted them and accept them exactly how they looked, and if they didn't say, "Oh, you're too bricky," or you don't look like a woman, your hair isn't straight, it doesn't look good," then they would have fully embodied what kind of person they wanted to be. So
Mhm.
Right.
I feel like it's a society issue. It's not a transitioning issue.
I agree.
Really, do y'all remember like a few years when it was like the trans renaissance when they had like the not they weren't even gendering a lot of the white folks weren't even gendering their kids. They were like, well, when you grow up, you'll figure out if you want to be he
Yeah,
or she.
What did you call it?
The trans renaissance. Remember when it was cool to be when we had, you know,
I remember that.
Mhm.
when they yes when they had what's her name? I
When
just
they
lost
wouldn't be,
it.
Where
they
they
wouldn't
erase
even put,
gender and they let you decide as you.
Oh, I
they didn't
remember
Yeah.
even
hearing about
put,
this. Okay.
they didn't even put
Oh,
male and
sorry.
female on their birth certificates. They were putting like X
Yeah, they
on the
was
birth
just
certificate.
like, or they had like all beige clothes or yellow clothes, and
Yeah,
they were like, okay, whenever you grow up, we'll figure out what gender you want to be.
right,
But now, because of the Trump regime, they decided that they want to make us in the Gilead that they only want male or female, which is not real. So,
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
definitely remember that.
Yeah, it's challenging. I mean, I can see how a parent, thinking that they're doing the right thing. Well, you say you want to be a girl, let's go ahead and make that happen. That way you don't have to worry about it later in life. They're thinking logically, but
I mean, and I would rather my kids do it the right way than going to the black market and going like Harry Hines and getting shots and stuff like that.
Right. That way you
Yes.
can monitor it, but then again, that's when your child is in your home where you able to keep them safe. When the child leave the house, it's not you can't protect them
Right.
from everything they're gonna face and all the experiences they're gonna experience and all those different type of things. And life start really happening to where now they're not in your home no more and you're not being able to keep them safe. They starting to walk into real society where it is a binary world and we are having people to judge and you're not being able to have access to like certain employment and stuff like that because of you being trans and stuff. Those things become challenging and not everybody can take it on. And I wish it could be where a society be like, oh, just come as you are and we'll love you and we create that. But if we're being real, that's not a world that we live in today.
No, it's
Right.
not.
We could. We
We
could.
could, but we
We
don't.
still young, but we can.
Hmm.
If we us, because we're going to be elders one day.
Oh
That
no, Coco
we
already elder. She already there.
I mean,
the goal
I
is to
think,
get old. We would hope to be old one day.
Yeah,
So
girl.
I feel like if we stop feeding into what the other people think that society would be, and we create our own society where it's okay instead of trying to go by their book. Well, at the end of the day, as Black people, we are never ever going to be what they want anyway. So why would we want to live under their society and their rules at all? So
Hmm.
well, if that's a
And,
uh,
and,
system that we have to work within, then we have to figure out how we're going to navigate through that.
But
if
here's
we,
the
if
we
we
here's
got to work
the
choose
with
to,
them.
because what's unique about my cousin, and I was trying to see like, why I want her to be on this thing so much. My cousin has created her own world, and not even her just her world. She is in full control of the energy and now she allows in her space. And she had just if you with the team, you with the team. If you understand, but you do not get to bring any weird energy in my space because I will cut your ass off. My cousin do not deal with nobody in my family.
Oh wow.
Period. And it's okay with it. And I'm just like, girl, how could you? Because we all was raised so tight. And how could you just like be like, oh, we disagree? Cool, you gonna disagree over there. I'm not gonna disagree over there, and I don't fool with you. And it's just like, and I admire her because in so many ways, I want to be there, but I just don't know how to be there because
You don't
my
know how to
family
cut
has
people off.
yeah, my family has did some very like crazy stuff, like her mama being one of them. My family has done some crazy stuff to me in because I think I desire having people around and that acceptance and all this stuff, and they continue to do crazy stuff to me. I just cannot let them go. But when it comes to her, she like, I don't give a damn if you my mama, your ass got to go.
So, how do you
Well,
feel?
it create. I'm sorry.
No, no,
Good.
go ahead. Well, I'm
Well,
just curious.
it creates an opportunity for people that actually agree with me, or I can, because a lot of times the family members, they just don't want to understand. They don't seek to understand. I could be around a person that had different opinions for me, but it's when I try to explain my case and you want to be dismissive or shut me down or try to play the victim, then you'll never get it. So I
Mhm.
don't understand what would be the point. And it leaving my family, because I'm from Dallas, I live in West Virginia now. Um, it's like it opened up opportunities for me spiritually. So I can't imagine what it would be like trying. If I stayed in Dallas, I'd probably have 5 or 6 kids, with some bum that I
Right.
don't like, burning my shit up. I just can't imagine what it would be like to want to conform just so I could be around people just from blood, just because you blood. I don't know.
And a lot of people get a lot of passes because they are blood. Like a lot of stuff that my family has took me through, I won't let any and everybody take me through, but I stay connected to it. I forgive them and stuff. But I admire her because you don't get to treat me no any kind of way. And I want to be there, but it just feels like, especially now that my mother and my grandmother and the people that I love and my biggest support system is gone, it's like I gotta keep the family together. And y'all don't see me like even past like coming over for Thanksgiving and stuff and inviting the family over and them not showing up and it just be like, Poco, just leave them alone, but it's just like, but that's my family, I can't just leave them, and I admire her because that would never be her.
So
She
you
would.
allow. So Poca, you make space for your family because you understand who they are, and you know that you're not going to change them, but you still want them in your life. So you make space for them to make mistakes. Is you're saying?
No, I think I am continuing to create a toxic environment for me and accepting. I think what I've allowed to do is to I don't allow people to get comfortable and being disappointing me, mistreating me, and where it becomes the norm. Although it's tearing me apart, I have made them comfortable to be able to be like, okay, you can do it. I'm going to still accept you. I'm going to see past your bullshit, and I'm going to allow you to do this just because I want you around.
Well, what
And
happens
I,
when what happens when you respectfully address the issue? I mean, I feel like there's a way that we can address any issue as long as it's done with a tone and a sense of love and respect. We should be able to listen.
but
This is who I am now.
what happens when that doesn't change and you have to continue to go back and forth? Do you continue to go back and forth with this person? Do you continue to go back and forth with this person, or you just realize this person is stuck in their ways, they're not going to change, and I have to do something different?
Let me say this. I, much like Brittany, I was someone who's always had to protect my safe, have a safe space for me. I always protect my space. And so anybody who's making me feel comfortable in that space or in any space, I separate myself from. When my dad told me that I couldn't come to his house in women's clothes, I made the decision to stay away from all of them for 5, 6 years. I did that on purpose because the last conversation I had with my dad about my transition was after I had me and Brandy Fox and this other girl was downtown. Some trade, a bunch of little young motherfuckers decided they was gonna harass us and follow us. And I turned around because they were following us. And I turned around and stopped. I was like, hey, what are y'all doing? Are y'all finna fight or what do y'all want to do? Y'all can't just be following behind us. What y'all want to do? And of course, they didn't do anything. But the minute I turned around, one of them hit me in the back of the head. Then the girl we was with pulled out her gun and started firing at them, and they took off running. My dad
I
had to
like
come.
her. That's
My
my
dad
girl.
had my dad had to come downtown, and my dad came downtown with his gun and was ready to find them and fight them. But when we were driving home, my dad said, "This is always gonna happen to you. People are always gonna see you as a joke. Nobody's gonna ever take you seriously. Not a job.
That's
I mean,
not fair.
he gave me that whole rundown, and so I disappeared from them so that when I can't, when they did, and it got to a point where I stayed gone so long that my mom started sending me messages through my dad, talking about, your daddy miss you. They miss you. You should call sometimes. You should, and start doing stuff like that. And so when I finally came back around, I had titties on my chest. I was coming into the woman that I wanted to be, and at that point, he had no choice but to accept that this was something that was permanent and something that I was serious about. And so at that point, he started trying to understand. It still took him a while, but he started trying to understand. But I was always one of those people who, if you called me by my dead name, I would instantly stop you and correct you. If you called me she or he or him, I would instantly stop you and correct you. And if it kept going, I would just not be around you anymore. I'm not going to keep making myself feel uncomfortable in these spaces where I'm supposed to feel loved when you can't honor what how you see I'm living. Even if it's something you don't understand, these are just words. If there are words that can make me feel comfortable and make me feel loved and want to be around you, then if you love me, just use those words. You don't have to believe I'm a woman. I'm not asking you to believe I have a uterus or believe I just honor the fact that I live as one and love me the way I am. And
Yeah,
that's all I
it's all the little things. I mean, little things make a difference, and those are some of the things that stop us from wanting to even continue our transition. Like if your family isn't supporting you, you got the world against you. You got to wake up and get into a whole costume character just to get accepted. It makes a girl question: is this even worth it? And I mean, yeah, I can see why a lot of girls will probably decide, you know what, it might just be easier. It might just be easier just to go ahead and just conform to what society wants so I can get a job, get some housing, and get in a secure place. And it's sad, but yeah, a lot of people make that decision. For me, it just wasn't ever something I mean, I've always saw myself as this person, this like the fantasy of this girl. And so I never even, the option of being a guy just didn't make sense to me.
hmm
So, but I just don't, I can't see it. It just wouldn't make sense.
and for my family, it was all about putting in the work. I remember going to Memphis to a family reunion, and people kept dead naming me,
Mm.
and I got furious, and I started crying. And my mom said, what you mad about? I said, because that's not what I go by. She said, well, that's what your ID say. If you don't like it, change it.
God,
And
man.
that's what got me to change. That's what made me hurry up and try to get my name
You
changed.
know what's crazy? My ain't saying you, and it was so crazy because now every time I talk to her, I didn't know how much of an impact it made on me, but I had stopped coming around like certain family members because they would call me my dead name. And my Aunt Sanya, every time I talked to her, she'd be like, "Hey, Robin, what's going on?" But I don't think it connected to her until when she came over because I recently moved to Allen, Texas, and she helped me like enroll. And I didn't. She just wanted to help. She just wanted to be a part of. She was just like, "Hey, I be wanting to, you in Allen. Let me show you the roads. Let me give you a tour around here. You in my deck of the woods. Let me show you around and stuff." And it was just like, dang, my ain't saying you're coming around. And in my head, I had conditioned myself to believe like she didn't fool me because I was trans and I was gay, a part of the gay community and stuff like that. But she wanted to come on and make sure that I was good. And she kind of welcomed me into Allen and she gave me a tour and everything. But when she seen my ID, she was just like, "You had your name changed?" And then she's like, and I was like, "Yeah." I said, "My name is Robin now." She's like, "I never knew your name was Robin. I didn't know you had your name changed and all this stuff." And from that day forward, I have never heard her. And I listened closer just to see if she gonna do it. And even when she's in front of family speaking, and she's the oldest out of my mama's sisters and stuff, and she's kind of the one everybody she like the head go. Well, she's the one that people can't stand but respect.
Mhm.
And she in front of anybody, she always said Robin and all that. And I just be like, dang, what happened? But now that you say that, it's when she seen that ID was changed, she respected what was on that ID.
Exactly. Now everybody, even the ones that would dead name me, call me Nico because now that's legally my name. And because I would ask, because I had an aunt, her name, her legal name is
Akasha
Denise.
said, "Hey, sisters."
Hey,
Her,
Kasha.
Hey, Kasha
her
Kasha girl.
her legal name is Denise, but for as long as I can remember, and from the time she was little, they called her by her middle name, Martha. Well, when she was almost 40 years old when she decided she didn't want people calling her Martha no more. She wanted them to go by her first name, Anise.
Mhm.
And quickly, everybody jumped on board. So I was confused as to when y'all can see that I'm no longer that dead name, and you hear what I'm telling you my name is now. Why can't you just jump on board?
I
And
think what it is,
my
I
mom
think what it
explained
is,
that really easily. She said, "Well, that was her legal name. That was what she was born. So it's easy for us to change that. If you want your name, people to call you what you want them to call you, change your name legally, and that way they don't have a choice." And I thought, and I couldn't argue with that. So the next thing they saw me do was change my name.
I agree, but to me, that's still playing in your face a little bit because how easy it for people to come up with a nickname and people to respect their nickname and call
That's
them
what
by
I
their
kept
nickname.
thinking. That's what I kept
That's
thinking to
I
right.
think I
myself.
think I think for parents, when you are a parent and you give birth to a person, you have this person in mind that you want to raise, and that's your job. And they take it very seriously. And then at this point where you tell them the person that they gave birth to isn't there anymore, it's like a loss to them. And I think for them, they feel like you're trying to murder or kill their child. And I think
And
that
that's
that's why they resist it and fight back. For my mom, she told me, she says, "I know what I gave birth to. I gave birth to a boy, and I had a boy, and she really, she's in love with that boy that she gave birth to."
when
And
I had a
and
when I
and,
had
and
a
mature
podcast.
and in a mature way, and in a mature way, just if you don't mind, maturely, I I know who I am, and it doesn't bother me if my mom wants to hold on to that because that's still love. If you look at it, she still loves you for you, whoever you are. So, I mean, you just don't put so much weight on it, is what I'll say.
What? But here's my thing. When I had my first podcast, Tea Time, I invited my parents onto the show to talk about this. This is how we had the conversation on air in front of everybody. And one of their things was, that they had a boy, they thought they were, what I'm saying. And I had to make them realize. I said, well, y'all heard all growing up all my life that I had sugar in my tank. Y'all saw me playing with dolls. Y'all saw who I was growing up. So I didn't kill the person y'all thought y'all had. Y'all just didn't see the person you actually had. Because the
Right.
person you
Mm,
actually
that's
had was always me. You just tried to push it in the opposite direction. That wasn't my fault.
Yeah. I mean, it's just understandable. You have this dream of having children. That's a dream that a lot of people have, the maternal instinct. And it's like it starts before we were born. So
Mhm.
I try
Oh
to
my
set.
God, I'm having a boy. You come up, you create these ideas of what that looks like and everything, and then, ooh la, she's wearing a dress.
Right.
All right.
And you didn't expect that. So I think it just, it just takes time for them to kind of reposition and compartmentalize what this means. And it doesn't mean necessarily that we'll have a less fulfilled life. It just means that life will be what they didn't expect. So they need some time to adjust.
Mhm. I
And for
when I
me, my brother and my mom, when I know when they speak about me and I'm not there, they secretly use my name, my other
Hmm.
name. I know they
That's
do.
the thing.
I know they do secretly between them.
Hmm.
And I mean, it kind of hurt me a little bit, but then at the same time, I know who I am. And at the same time, I need to be realistic. Like, I was raised with them as this person. So they feel comfortable with that. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because I know who I am. And at this point in my transition, if I worried about the world and what the world thinks, you worried about the wrong thing.
But I have to question, Lachey. I started transitioning at 19, which means that I've been a woman longer than I was a boy.
that's a
Y'all have
fact.
known the
Me
woman
too.
longer than y'all have known, than you got to know the boy. You knew Miko much longer than you knew the one you raised. So
Hmm.
at this point, at some point, you have to get past the person you raised because now you've known me for much longer.
And is that really support or is that really just tolerating someone?
I don't know. I think that what it is they want to make space for the human that they created, and they want to they still want to have, like, you're the same person. You are the person that they created, so they feel like, in a sense, they're
I'm my
not wrong.
mom's. I'm my mom's only child, and so she always says like, no matter what, she supports me and everything. But she's like, "You'll always be my son." And I'm like, ugh.
That's how they feel. I try to be understanding because maybe they're from a different generation, and if somebody hasn't walked in your shoes, can they really relate?
I don't try to force my lifestyle on them though. Like I just accepted it.
Yes,
I'm like,
Like,
you,
Mhm.
because the thing is, I want to have a relationship with my family, and I know that they don't get it. My mom was
"Mm,
Jehovah's Witness growing up. Jehovah's Witness, they'll kick you out the church. You
Yeah,
can't
what?"
And you know
marry
what?
a
And
yeah.
Christian.
that's where I go back from where I was saying earlier. We make it too comfortable for people to create toxic environments for us.
I think we choose to look at it. Life, half of life is your perspective, right?
Hmm.
Like, if I look at life and, oh, I'm offended, I'm so offended. This is my mama. It's my mama. She feel comfortable. That's where she's at.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to make my mama. She pushed me out of her body.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to tell her that no, I'm. What you see is not what happened. That's a fight that I don't need to be. It's like me trying to take something from her.
How you feel
And
about that, Brittany?
I feel like my mother was a portal for me to come through. I feel like we put too much honor on being a parent, and a lot of people that are parents aren't good parents. And like Poca, you say that my mom stopped drinking. Had I not went no contact with her, she probably would have never stopped drinking. The reason that I stopped
Hmm.
talking to her is because she was getting fall down drunk while she was watching my child, and because I didn't want to raise my child in that same environment that I was raised in, I said, no, ma'am, it is right now. You are not getting drunk and watching my child. So it's not even about me. I mean, it's about me, but it's also about her. Like, you want to keep killing yourself. Because I love you and I want you to stop, but you don't love yourself enough to stop. So what can make you stop? Me having no contact with you, and that's the type of growth and evolution that it takes in order for change to happen. Like me seeing Poca growing up made me feel comfortable being gay. Me seeing Polka doing advocacy when people start saying weird shit about trans people, I'm like, hold the fuck up. I love my cousin. This is not a space where you can talk about trans people like that. This is not a comfortable space for me because I don't want you to be uncomfortable. They don't want me to be comfortable. Why would I want you to be comfortable? You shouldn't be comfortable. Bring back shame. You should be ashamed of disrespecting your child. You should be ashamed of not accepting your child. That is not how I love my child. If he came to me and said, I want to be a woman, sure, you can do whatever you want to do. That is what parents, it's actual unconditional, supposed to
Hmm.
be without condition. That is not, if you gay, straight, punk it, whatever, you should accept your child like that. And then we've moved so far away from that because we want to have these standards for people that aren't even really, as Black people, us being indigenous, it was never like that. In Africa, there's so many native people where they had the two spirits, and where, or in Indian culture where they have trans communities where it's a god. Like being trans is closest to God consciousness. Because in my view, God is non-binary. They
Hmm.
had to separate. He had to separate. If you say God is made in my image, and he had to make Adam and Eve, that means that they had to split. That means it came from a non-binary being. So it's just, it's so disrespectful to yourself and dishonoring yourself if you, to me, if you allow people to do whatever they want just so they can be comfortable. It keeps the cycle of bullshit going
Mhm.
forever and always, because they don't have to change. Why would I have to change? Why do I have to respect you? Why I gotta call you this name? That's stupid. It's
And
dismissive.
let me say this as
But
well. None of us asked to be born. I'm here because you wanted a child. I'm not here because I wanted to be. I'm here because you made it happen. So as much as I have to honor you, you have to love me too and unconditionally. And the fact of the matter is, you holding on to what I used to be when you can clearly see for many years now that I'm not that, is you not showing me unconditional love because you have no love for the person you see I've grown into. You have no respect for the person you see I've grown into. And me, and to me, and this is not, and I'm not saying anything about you and your mom, Shay. I'm just saying for me, you're it's like I'm going to allow you to disrespect me because you pushed me out of your body. But you didn't ask her to push you out of your body. And at some point, they have to let go of, because you're not a child, you haven't been a child for a long time. As a matter of fact, you're quite an adult, a responsible adult who takes care of everybody. So at some point, there has to be some level of respect for the person that you are now. For at some point, there has to be a thing where, okay, maybe I didn't have a son. Maybe this is who she is. Maybe respect this person. Why is it that we owe our parents unconditional love and respect, but they don't owe us the same thing back when we didn't ask to be born?
It's just that there. For me, I see this person who just doesn't. Everybody does not understand the LGBT. They don't understand what this is, how it happened, why we're here. They just don't understand it.
But you're the
And
way she understands that. She can understand it through you. She has a perfect, God has given her the perfect opportunity to understand it through
listen,
you.
I have broke it down to the science. You know how I do. I broke
Mhm.
it down to the science, explained to her about the genetic code and how it happens over time, and there's a gay gene and all this. People feel like, okay, listen, I know what I see. People are very whatever they see visual. So if
So
they
do
have
say
you
we?
heard
they
of an intersex person? Or how about somebody who's intersex with both male and female genitalia? Have you
Right.
heard of a person
What
like
had,
that?
now that's a good question. How would they have responded had they had what we used to call a hermaphrodite as a child, someone who is intersex, who has some form of both sexual organs? How would they have treated that? Would that have been against God? Would that have been some sort of abomination? Would they have reached in and tried to figure that out? And your mom is a Jehovah's Witness. How would she have handled that? Would that have been something she would have tried to cover up or hide, or you
I
know what
really
I'm
don't know how
saying?
it's I really don't know how it's done in the Jehovah's Witness community necessarily in terms of like homosexuality and all that. I really don't know how that works. But yeah, they're very strict and just having. I guess what I'm getting at is you have to know these people like Pocahontas. It sounds like your family, they're very like Bible Belt, conservative, South, Southern, church going people. Like, these
They
people.
do.
It sounds like that's who they are. So, knowing who they are, if I just feel like
You're
you have to
like,
navigate through spaces. Like, it's like if I'm working with children, right? I'm working with children. I know who these children are. I need to have the right perspective because I'm not gonna get frustrated if they draw on the walls. Yes, they're drawing. This is what children do, right? It would be crazy for me to be working with a child and expect you to be more than what you are. It's like I'm working with a chimpanzee, but I expect the chimpanzee to act like a man. They're not gonna do that. So
No,
approach the
but
situation
but
with
but
some
see, with adult humans, though, there comes discernment, there comes correctiveness, there comes ability to correct their way of thinking and to understand better. There comes education and learning. So there are much more opportunities for an adult human to realize the truth and to come to an understanding, as opposed to a child who you just expect to be a child, or a chimp who you just expect to be a chimp. Adult humans have the capacity to change, learn, and understand.
capacity.
you know what?
Capacity. The capacity, we should also have the capacity to forgive and to understand from their perspective. Like I was gonna ask Bree, just real quick. Bree, so is there no space for for your for your relationship to mend? Like, is there even a sliver of room for you to say,
No,
well, people can
I
change?
mean, at this point, no. There's also uh, a lot of narcissism that I feel like, and if you ever know a person with narcissism doesn't really know that they have these tendencies,
They
so
have checked in.
they're not gonna get it. And I have boundaries and I have self-respect for myself. And like I said before, if I allow you to do that to me, then I do not respect myself. And if I love myself, there is no part where I would let someone continuously disrespect me and allow them access to me. It is an honor for you to have access to me. That's just how I feel.
And you know what?
And
I agree, Brittany. Just imagine, and it's not putting nobody on the spot or anything, but just imagine if we pull back and take everything we bring to the table away for the people that sit at the table and eat.
Good question.
it would be
What
very
what
hungry.
what would that look like for them?
Good question. That's a
Well,
good question.
What would that look like for them?
well, everyone has
So-
different circumstances. I think all I'm talking about is just in general for this transition. Sometimes give these people room to learn and mature. Give them room because
Right.
people are not going to always be what you want them to be. You cannot control people when they're going to heal, when they're going to be. All you can control is yourself,
Hmm.
right? So I'm driving myself crazy trying to want something that may or may not happen. I
You
need
can
to.
control
I,
yourself and your access, though.
you
You can
know who you
control yourself
are.
and access to you.
And that's not to say that I don't have boundaries as well. I mean, there's certain things like she knows. The thing is, for my mom, we interact a lot with the public and with people, and she would look pretty stupid, I think, saying he in front of somebody that obviously sees me as a she. It makes her look offensive. It makes her look kind of stupid and dumb. So
Mm.
she has the sense enough to know, okay, I at least need to keep like be respectful in some circumstances. She doesn't disrespect me to my name, and like this is the past, but it's gotten better. But I mean, the thing is, I'm just not gonna let this situation drive me crazy. Like,
And I don't think you should let it run you or drive you crazy. But here's just something to think about, because this is what I told my parents: the support and the confidence and the way we see ourselves and the way we move through life starts at home. I can take Dick, John, and Jane from out there calling me he,
Disrespect me.
as long as I know that at home I'm respected. I can take disrespect from anywhere else but when I have to get disrespected in my own home, that's when my whole world is shattered. That's when my confidence is shattered. That's when I can't walk throughout the rest of the world or trust the rest of the world, even because if I can't get it from my mama, why should I expect it from anybody else?
so
You
our
see what I'm
advice is
saying?
to just cut him off. Just cut him off, right?
Not cut them off,
Is that the
but
advice?
no, the advice
For
is to,
me,
Just
for
cut
me,
him off. Just never. Just don't go
No,
back.
I mean,
because
it's either evolve or die, basically, for me. Yes, we should have boundaries. Yes, you keep the old thought. Uh, Imagine if you never, if you never transitioned and you became the man that your mother wanted you to be, you would not, you would hate yourself. You'd probably be choking your baby mama out,
Yeah.
doing all the things, being DL, all the things that people do because they aren't embodying their true self. That's how that thought process keeps going because we allow people to continue on that same path. You have to learn. You either learn the hard way or you learn the gentle way. And most times people have to learn the hard way. You just have to. I'm not saying there might be some day that there is reconciliation between me and my family. But as soon as someone is disrespectful to me, yes, you do get cut off. That's just how that works. I'm not spending my life. We only get so much finite time on this planet, and I will never spend my time trying to convince somebody that I should be in their lives. That doesn't make any sense to me now.
Well, the gospel says to turn the other cheek.
I am a
Girl, what
Buddhist,
gospel say that?
ma'am. I don't have to. It also says the blood of the covenant is thicker than blood. The covenant
uh-oh.
is about. We got that wrong. Covenant is about community. It's about community.
Yeah.
Okay? They told us blood is thicker than water, but that's not what that actually means. That's not what that scripture means. It's the blood of the covenant between community that is thicker than the blood that cloth. When you used to have a baby and they used to take the blood from the cloth, they're saying that the covenant is
Mm.
more substantial than that blood. It's about community. It's not about blood. And I'm all for community and building spaces where people are accepted no matter what you want to be. So that's what I'm
and
about.
and please remember, Shay, we only have so many cheeks.
Okay, like how many?
I
Something
don't
do you
know.
want? Excuse me.
These days you can buy as many as you want.
Hmm.
Yes, you can.
Okay, looks like Chloe had to go do her other podcast of chasing her other show, Chasing Dallas. So we'll see you next week, Chloe.
She's so messy. Okay, can y'all see them comments? Because I can't see the comments.
I can't either.
It says, sorry, y'all. I had to hop on. Oh, that's the same thing. She okay from two different messages. Okay.
I can't.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't
she
even know how
actually
to pull up the comments.
she's the
You can
last
turn
three
your camera
comments.
on. I'm on the Gucci. I'm in the group too. So turn your camera back on and focus. It's not like you really going to the West Ball anyway, girl.
Who you talking to?
Oh, here's the
Chloe.
comments.
Bitch, not that call. I'm talking about chasing Atlanta.
Oh, okay, okay. Blow the comments. Can y'all see the comments or
I just,
anything?
I just,
There's no
I
okay.
just
It
looked
was
it
it
up.
was just Chloe. It was just Chloe
Yeah,
commenting
there are no extra comments
over and
really.
over. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh well. What about the questions though? We had some topic questions. Do we want to try to cover some of those in our last 20, 30 minutes, 20 minutes? Let's take a look at the questions, you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so there's quite a few. Um, let's just see here. What's the hardest part of understanding each other?
For families and the trans person.
I think so. What's the hardest part of between the two, bridging that gap? Like, why
Be-
don't they understand who we are, and why can't they just go with the program when they see we're happy?
Do,
I think we covered
if
that because we talked about the fact that they see us as one thing, and they're not willing to let go of that.
Well, it's not just that, but you also have to realize that a lot, especially in the Black community, and I was going to say to Brittany, when you were talking about how, why we want to be like them and let's be, but the fact of the matter is, it's a large percentage of the Black community feels like there's a problem with LGBTQ. And much of that is because they've been indoctrinated to these religions that tell them that something is wrong with us. And so it's hard for them to understand because the first thought is, are you going to hell? Or the first thought is, oh, I got to save you from this, or you know what I'm saying? And
Well,
so a lot of
what
it
was
is
the
trying
question again?
to unlearn that.
What was the
Unlearn.
hardest part of understanding each other?
Okay, my bad,
Yeah,
Nika.
a lot of it is trying to unindoctrinate yourself to these thoughts that they've grown up with, this religion that they've grown up with that tells them that what we are is wrong, that tells them what we are goes against God. And if they're so heavily into that kind of religion, it's hard for them to just like your mom, who's Jehovah's Witness. She's been with that for so long that it's hard to unlearn
It's subconscious.
it.
And I think the hardest part is that once I have came out to be transitioned, it becomes my whole identity. You forget I'm the big cousin and fought for everybody. You forget I'm the big cousin and taught everybody how to drive. You forget I'm the big cousin that stayed home when all the parents was gone and babysitted everybody. You forget all the good traits about me, and my whole identity becomes everything you know about me. And to me,
Mhm.
that's a big hard part.
Yeah, yeah. You just start being trans. You're just the trans cousin
And
now.
trans is everything because I have cousins who on a first when they was first pregnant, like I have a cousin named Jatavia. I'm name dropping. A cousin named Jatavia. When she had her first baby, she was pregnant her senior year in school. I carried all her bags to every class. I carried her spit cup. I'd be like, you got to spit, hold your cup. And I supported her through her whole pregnancy. But like after maybe 2 or 3 years of the port, I have never got to see like the kids and stuff. And I think we just moved into different lives. She became grown, I became grown, so doing different things. But just kind of the way we interact, I think she had forgot all of that. And I've heard her slip up and dead name me. And it's just like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just so weird. It's just so many levels when it comes to having a conversation about family and what family support looks like, and how it's dysfunctional and how we done made these spaces, created these allow toxic relationships, unhealthy relationships, get comfortable in our environment. It's just so many. It's just so much to talk about when it comes to family, and just so
But
many things that affect us that we make excuses for.
there are two
Okay, so
roads to go down,
on the
though.
other end of the scale, what helped us to heal? Like, how did, because we're, it seems like a lot of us are in the other end to where we're past a lot of the drama and trauma. But what was it? What made that happen? Like, at what point did your our family start trusting and having faith in us?
When we start pulling back,
Mm.
and they start seeing, not only do they have to they start realizing that in order for us to bring what we bring to the table, because everybody on this call is very powerful and bring something to people around them. When they start realizing us pulling back and giving, they start realizing in order to keep this space and this thing that I've been comfortable with and it has helped me grow, I'm gonna have to respect myself. And the way I've healed, learned to heal, was just accepting people are gonna be who they're gonna be. It ain't no changing them, but I have full control over who I let in my space. And it's okay to love a person but cut their ass off at the same time.
And let me say this, because you said that, a couple of years had passed, y'all kind of went in your own different ways, and so now it's kind of a different interaction. One thing that pulling away has an advantage and it has a disadvantage. Sometimes the only way people can get to fully understand your tradition and get used to it is to be exposed to it. When we take that exposure away, and when they don't have a chance to get to learn who Pocahontas is, then they don't really know Pocahontas. They just still know that
Mhm.
last person. Sometimes it takes being exposed and them being around Pocahontas to finally understand that this is Pocahontas and not that other person. And so I had to learn that, because when I came back, I was Miko. You know what I'm saying? I had the things done. I was Miko. And I was still confused at why they were calling me he when I was sitting here looking like this. So when I was, you know what I'm saying? I was still very confused about that. And I had to understand that they still had to learn Miko. They still had to be around Miko to get used to Miko before they
Hmm.
could
I
finally
can't
get
hear
it the way
nobody.
they could.
You can't hear?
Yeah, what happened? Might
Uh oh.
have some technical
Oh,
difficulties.
maybe because she was coordinating it and she left. Maybe that has something to do with the sound. Can
Yeah,
Can you hear?
you
I
back?
can hear now.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in because I want to say this too. But to the young people out there, um, another thing I want to also pull out, and I don't know if he was done talking, but it's on my heart to say it. What I have noticed When I pulled back from my family, and now that I'm letting them re-enter into my life, the things they didn't understand, they happen to realize that they missed a part of like my success story and becoming who I am today. And when they come over to my house and they see this big house, how you end up with a house bigger than mine, or where all these trophies come from? You actually know Jasmine Crockett and all this stuff. Like, how do you know these people that we look up to and they respect you? You getting awards from these people, like everything. Like my auntie was looking at all my awards. She was like, "You did this?" Then they realize because of your own ignorance and your you want to be stuck in your ways, you was praising stuff like, oh, my baby got his first apartment at the age 53. He moved into his first one bedroom apartment. You don't miss a whole success story of someone that was a part of your family because you wanted to be ignorant. And for young folks, because of social media and stuff, they into our family defense, social media has poisoned the black family so bad to where that when they think of trans, they think of prostitution, they think of mental health illness, they think of the rah-rah, the all this different stuff. They don't really get access to see like girls actually doing work. So if you are a family member that is don't want to be a part of like the ghetto lifestyle or something like that, you kind of shy away from those type of things. But what's surprising is that when you walk in and see someone that you neglected being successful and actually thriving and raising kids better than you raising kids, it's like a wow moment. You know, like I didn't see this coming. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like Brittany, like you being out there in West Virginia by yourself and living. No matter like if you have all the money in the world or if you don't have no money, whatever it looks like, you are in a whole nother state where you were not born by yourself and living with a smile on your face. Your
Yeah.
lights is on, and people don't expect that from people that they try to judge, belittle, or push away because it's not what the norm look like.
Hmm.
And so, and I'm saying it just to say to like the younger folks, keep living and don't get so caught up with your identity that you stop living and going after the things that's best for you because
Right.
they'll get it eventually. And what the family don't get is that when we go through these different stages, when we are part of the rah-rah and all the crazy stuff and like that, it's like us stepping into because we didn't feel welcome in our safe space. When we step into community and we go wild and we do all these different things, it's like us as kids being pushed out to the wolves and us having to fend for ourselves and learn something. So we run into stuff like to situations to where we do fraud to survive or sex work to survive. We get introduced to stuff so quickly that sometimes it take us out of there. But if we had that family support, I'm all over the place with what I'm saying. But if we
No, you're
had
doing it. You're doing good.
the family support that we needed, I feel like a lot of those things that we're introduced to when we're pushed out to the woods as a child, relearning who we are and trying to figure things out we would miss if we had that family support. So I feel like family support is definitely needed for any child, no matter whether they're gay, whether they're a rock and roll person living in a hip hop house, or you know what I'm saying. It don't matter what that is. Family support is very needed because it's the first place where you feel accepted, or it should be your first place where it should be a safe space.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
I said a lot within there, but it's all over the place. But I hope y'all understand what I was
That was
saying.
good. That was perfectly put. It is good.
Okay.
But like I was saying before you left, ex- uh, separation can sometimes be just as counterproductive as exposure because separation separates them from the person that you are now. So they don't get to see that growing up. They don't get to see that glow up that you have. And so they don't get to learn that person. What we talk about all the time is that when you transition, your parents transition with you They have to see you through each of those stages, see you growing into this person so that they can start loving and respecting that person too. When you take that away from them and you just force this person on them after so much time, they start at that point having to learn who you are. And so they still have memories of that old person when here you are now, but they didn't get to see you become who you are now. So it's
Pocahontas,
hard for them to
I'm
separate.
sure that they would have loved to have seen you with all your accolades and your awards and the work you're doing. I mean, was it that maybe you just kind of weren't exposing them or inviting them to those spaces?
They
Maybe.
would have loved to see it then, but would I even had the opportunity to see it if I continued to fight for acceptance or them to be a part of it and everything? I would spend most of my life trying to fight to be accepted. But it was until I decided I'm gonna accept me for me and I'm gonna pull back and do what I need to do for me, because if I continue to fight them, I would just continue to try to fit into what they wanted to me to be. But it wasn't until I stepped away to realize that, okay, like Brittany's doing, like when I stepped away and I pulled back, and I ain't pulled back as far as Brittany has did, but I pulled back a little bit. Then I started learning what I was capable of doing. And I started, people started coming around me who was pointing to me, and it just became different. And if I was still fighting, like certain people go back and forth, like, oh, you got to accept me, you got to listen to what I'm saying. If I just pull that part back and just be like, okay, I'm all I need right now. When I decided to do that, I learned so much about myself. Like even like what I'm going through right now as I'm rebranding the House of Rebirth.
Mhm.
Me creating this website, and y'all don't see the website. It's just like, girl, I would have never thought I could recreate a website or just rebrand my organization or really just have a true vision that was true to me if I would have stayed in the relationship that I had.
Mhm.
But when I stepped away and I realized, okay, it's me, I got to do this for me. I'm not, you don't have to do it no more. I'm going to do it. And
So
the,
I want to
go
ask
ahead.
Brittany. Brittany. So do
So,
you feel,
Brittany.
Brittany? Do
What?
you feel stronger than
I
yesterday?
I can't hear what. What happened?
I want to ask you. Do you feel
I can't
stronger than
hear what
yesterday?
everybody is saying.
So refresh, Brittany.
So I just exit out, or what do I
Exit
So,
do?
Yeah,
out.
exit out
yeah,
and come back in.
refresh and then
Come
come
back
back
in.
in.
We should be able to pop back up when Chloe
I
ain't
love
here.
my Brittany, y'all.
She's really cool. She reminds me of eggs.
Now I can't hear y'all.
Come on. I can hear you, Miko, right?
You can hear me. I can hear you. Can't you?
We're
Can't you hear me?
good.
Oh,
I
okay.
was making a little joke. You know, Brittany has a song called Stronger Than Yesterday.
Does she?
Yeah, she's dancing on a chair. You probably seen it back in the day. Stronger than yesterday.
This Brittany?
Now, Brittany Spears.
Oh, girl, I don't. Girl, I don't listen to no goddamn Britney Spears.
It was a hit song. It was a hit. I'll be making my little jokes. You gotta get it.
Bitch.
But yeah,
You.
yeah. But no, but really, honestly, I want to know, like, since leaving her family, does she feel like it was beneficial? I mean, I'm sure, like in multiple ways. Like, I'm sure for her mental health. I'm sure, especially if you have a toxic family. But just I like me and my brother. My brother, he doesn't speak to me, and sometimes I wonder, does he miss me? Because I mean, he act like he don't care, but I know he probably miss me. Like, how can you not? How can you not miss
Have
your
you ever
family?
had a conversation with your brother?
I have. It's been a few years. It's been about 3 years now. They can't get back in. Oh, there they are. There
Here
they
they
are.
go. Can y'all hear us?
Can you hear?
Okay, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, hold on. We're trying to figure it
Brittany,
out.
can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a
Okay.
quick question. Do you feel like do you feel like you're a stronger person? I know emotionally because you've gotten away from the toxicity, but do you ever like miss family? Do you feel stronger, or do you feel like there might be something that like you're yearning for?
Um, any self healing journey is extremely isolating, but that's how you grow. A seed grows in darkness. So I just, and the benefits and things that I learned from getting out of that environment, like when I growing up, I loved What's Love Got to Do with It, and I loved Buddhism.
Mhm.
And people would make fun of me. I was the weird cousin. I was never the cool cousin. That's
Really?
I'm the weird
Okay.
one. I'm the weird one. So anytime I would do anything different, or they say you talk white, you acting like a white person, that type of shit. And I was just,
Really?
I just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller and more into myself. Like even now having this conversation, I would never do because I didn't feel like my voice deserved to be heard.
Hmm.
So the fact that I was able to find out, oh yeah, I can love myself. Yes, I'm interesting. Yes, these things, the way I'm being talked to isn't normal. Even being around the white people here and listening to my friend's mom talk to her child and be like, whoa, that you're so nice and kind. And I was like, and when my mom came back into my life, I had to tell her, I said, people don't talk, nobody has talked to me like that in a long time. And I
Hmm.
recognize, oh, you're used to talking to me like this, you know, uh, pointing out my imperfections, making me feel small, because she feels small and she
Yeah.
doesn't know any better. And I can understand where she's coming from and still not accept that in my life.
Yes.
I read a lot more. I do so many things. I don't have to feel guilty about wanting to be smart. That's crazy. Like they're like a lot of stuff that we do in the Black community. It hinders our growth. It's mind-boggling to me that we want to be a part of the. All of this is we are all victims of the patriarchy, the
For
white
sure.
patriarchy. You know. So what I want to do is I want to be really on a farm in a community where we are outside. I'm hoping that they deport me and send me to Nigeria. I'm just like, please, I don't want to be a part of this American stupidity that that they think that's okay because they're so uncomfortable with themselves. It's either everything that everyone does is either rooted in love or rooted in hate and fear, really fear, because even anger is just fear. So all the things that I do, it's out of love and out of self love for myself, love for another human being, because there's no separation between me and nature, me and y'all. We're all one being on this planet. So yeah,
So you feel like this is you feel really secure in your decision making, and
150 million%. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. The peace, the value of calm and peace that I get from being by myself and being comfortable with being by myself. It could be all of them can go. Everybody chop. Everybody can go because
oh
I
yeah.
love myself and I have never ever been able to love myself like I do
Mm,
now at 36 years old,
yeah.
living my whole life hating myself because I didn't fit into a mold that my mom and my dad didn't like. They was just like, why are you so weird? Why can't you be normal? When there's really no such thing as normal. So
Agreed.
yeah, I wouldn't have this thought process. I wouldn't be thinking like that. I can't even imagine what that would be like. It's just being ignorant. I don't want to be that.
Yeah, it's not a cookie cutter experience for any of us. We all have to kind
Yeah.
of do what works for ourselves and our situation. And it's all about preserving your peace. So I get that. We get it. Um, it's just, ultimately, I think, in the perfect world, of course, we would want to be hand in hand with our family members running into the sunset, right? Like in a perfect world. But if you can't have that, we have to find a place where we can still, have that same level of happiness. With or
Sometimes that
without
place
them.
is within.
Sometimes it's with, sometimes it's not. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
sometimes you have to, because that was where the turning point happened for me when I got to a point where I said, when Miko had become solidified in my soul, this is Miko. It's not changing. This is definitely who I am. I'm not going to make excuses for it anymore. This is what it is. If you can't accept it, then stay the hell away from around me. That's the attitude I developed because I gotten so far into my transition where I thought y'all should know better by now. By now, y'all should see that it's not going nowhere. By now, y'all should see that this is a permanent decision. Now y'all should see me living in this truth every day. And now me seeing me live in this truth should make you reflect on who you saw back then and saw that this was always going to happen. Who you saw
Right.
back then was always leading to this. And you can, and
Hmm.
if you actually go back and look at who that was, who that little boy was, you'd have saw that he was the little boy with the sugar in his tank. He was the little boy who liked to play with dolls. He was the little boy who always liked more feminine things than masculine things. You saw that happening. So this should not be a surprise to you. This should be something that you should have been preparing your mind for in the first place. And now I'm not going to make any excuses for it, and I'm not going to tolerate any disrespect behind it.
I think that this is really a good show because it shows a sign of redemption and the fact that even through the hard times, you can come out at the end of the road. You can act through it all. It can all make sense at the end. And sometimes things get a little rough, but we work it out and we come out on top. And I think that that's kind of the moral of the story of what we want to say today. If you have support of your family, that's great. And even if you don't, sometimes maybe that's just something you're going through at the time, but we can get through it. And if you can't get through it, you'll still be okay, right?
No, we're
Well,
gonna
yeah,
get
if you
through
can't
it.
get along with your family, you'll still be fine.
You'll be
Without them,
fine, but also you need to know to cut their ass off.
Well, that
you can be fine without them, is
with
what
or
it is.
That
without,
Yes,
that that's what the part
yes,
you're missing.
that's
with or
it.
without. So I think that was
I put Brittany's mom in the group so y'all can know who she is. Go look
I
at the
remember.
picture.
I thought I remember who. I remember her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put her in the group so I can remember.
Yeah, you remember? I think she said something about your vegan stuff was disgusting, or something like that, or
Oh yeah,
something.
I
Oh,
remember
you're
because that
Go,
doesn't happen very
vegan.
go
often.
look.
Because that doesn't happen very often. Let me see. Oh, I think there was somebody that was like saying something. I'm like, girl.
And what you
Oh
had cooked
yeah,
today, it was so good. It was just like she's like, what the fuck is that?
yes, I remember her. Yeah, I remember her. She was very opinionated. I mean, I don't expect. The thing is, I don't expect people. I mean, to do so. You can't have expectations in life. I've learned when you start expecting things, that's when you're gonna get your disappointments. So
Mhm.
I serve food. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not
Your
attached.
food be good. I don't care what nobody says. Since you be
I
hitting it.
mean, I'm a black girl from the South. I better know how to cook something and make it taste great.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think so, but whatever. But I see what you're saying. Like, okay, some people, okay, you might need to just cut that off at the head because it
I
kind
think
of
now
make it nasty.
she know who you're talking about now,
Oh
Brittany.
yeah, now she know.
Yeah.
Now
I
see,
would say that she
see.
gets
Uh-huh.
Two,
Now you
two,
get it. You
two
you get
different
it
people,
now.
right?
She's a character.
it. Girl. Ooh. I know. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, but the
Bitch.
world is full of characters, though,
Look.
right? You're gonna run into all kinds
Ooh,
of
bitch.
people, and I feel like knowing that you're gonna run into all kinds of people in life, you gotta expect. Alexa, stop. You gotta expect. Okay, sometimes I'm gonna run into some crazies, and I can't let you pull me into your crazy. I gotta be able to. Okay, I see you for who you are. Let me exit stage left, or
You see how the conversation changed, though?
But what happens when it's but what happens when it's the parent that's the crazy? That's what we're trying to
Right.
get through to you. Sometimes parents can be so far to one side or have such a limited view of what things are that it starts to weigh on you. It
but
starts to
if
affect
if
you.
you allow it,
It
It
does.
will. It
for,
has
for,
to
for
be.
something
Here's
It's
the
to
thing.
weigh
it's an
on you, you have to say, "I'm consciously allowing this to bother me now,"
But guess
rather
what?
than,
But guess
"Okay,
what?
let me move on."
Kate, there's not a one of us sitting up here who can say that hearing our mother do that does not pull a string somewhere in there. Whether we live off of that or not, it still pulls that string and it still hurts.
Not if you don't let it.
But it
Girl,
probably
Do you
does.
know how many people have talked about me from left to right, head to toe, top to bottom? Girl, I don't care what you
we
think.
ain't talking about people. We talking about the
I
ones that are
don't
supposed to
care
love
what she
us.
got to say.
We
You
hear
Like,
get you.
you.
I just don't.
That's what
Like,
I'm saying. I
We
know.
hear you, but we know you.
I
Right.
know
I know
myself.
that it doesn't, I know that you don't let it linger. I know
Okay.
that you don't take that and carry it with you into the world, but I do know that
Internalize it.
the minute it happens, it pulls that string and it hurts. Then you
Okay.
let it go.
Okay.
But
I'll
it
give you that.
does hurt.
Yeah, I will give you that. But you know, us being trans, you got to have your force field on. We got thick skin. And I'm ready for you. You can say what you want. I'm ready. Like, what you gonna say? What could you possibly say that's so offensive? I mean, I know you. The thing is, when you give your parents that, you give them the platform to hurt you, then and when they say something, then yeah, you're gonna experience that. But what she has to say, you are a woman from a whole different generation. I'm not giving you that much weight. I'm not. You don't understand me, so what am I gonna give you that much power over me for?
That's what I be saying when you be trying to be cute with me, girl. You are a woman from a whole nother generation.
Touche,
What?
touche, touche. And hopefully, the girls, can pick up some of the lessons. You know what I'm saying, and run with it. I mean,
Yeah.
Stupid.
but yeah, I feel like it was a good show because we hit different points. We hit different points, and it's not always going to be the same experience. So, but it was so good
I
to have you on the show, Bree. We're gonna have to have you again because I like
yes,
the fact that she gives a different perspective, and it's real.
Mhm.
yeah.
You are so real and so cool. So I really enjoyed, having you on. We
I
definitely.
appreciate y'all for letting me in y'all space.
It was good.
I love the dolls. I love the queer community. I love y'all's advocacy and making yourself known and visible. And it's like living in Texas and it being where there's literally an attack on trans people, that y'all continue to be yourselves and you continue to thrive and grow and be, you know, the pillars in y'all community. So I'm just so happy, and I just want
Oh,
y'all to be
hush.
blessed and
Yes.
stay happy and be safe. So yeah.
I
Number
love
We're
you
one,
for
be
coming
that,
safe.
down to
Tiffany.
the end of the show, so I would like everybody to give their closing thoughts on family support, and what that means, and how we can carry on.
If they
Pocahontas.
family, if the family don't support, cut their ass off. That's my advice. It be the support you need.
Ladies, you are stronger than you look. Stronger than strong. You are
You gonna
strong.
say that to a bunch of trans women?
Yes, you are stronger than you could possibly ever think that you are. And words don't matter. They're just words, right? So process it, keep it moving. And you're gonna always be that girl. So no one can take that from you. Family, friends, whatever. So
Brittany.
that's just my 2 cents.
I'll just say that your visibility is your advocacy, and you don't have to do anything but be yourself. And if nobody else loves you, I love you, and I want you to exist. And maybe someday there will be a community where we all can be whatever the fuck we want to be. So I
Amen.
say on that.
And let me say this, not to the trans people, but to the families of trans people. These are the people that you birthed. These are the people that you raised. You don't have any control over who these people are going to become. The only thing you can do is show unconditional love and support, regardless of your religion, regardless of your views. These are people who still need your support. And if they're ever going to have a chance at being successful, your support makes the difference between them being a street tranny and a rich tranny, between a child out there trying to struggle to figure it out herself, or someone who has been given the keys and takes them and run with it.
It's true.
That's the difference between family support and not. When you support your children, you're giving them a chance to be much more successful in life. If you want your children to be successful, all it takes is love. All it takes is a little bit of support so they don't have to feel like they have to go and find validation elsewhere. Validation starts at home. Safety starts at home, regardless of your religion and regardless of what you think about LGBTQ. You can still create positive and successful LGBTQ people with just love.
Amen.
And
And
if
that
you
having been
don't,
Okay.
and if
that
you
having been
don't,
that having been said, I
Hold
want to thank all of y'all for listening. I want to thank the people in the audience for coming out and supporting us once again. And we will be back next week with some more topics. So thank you for listening to Transfusion because we're going to continue trying to end confusion about transgender. And good night, y'all.
all right, bye. Love y'all.
Love you. All right, that was good. Me gonna be the first one gone.
She be out of there.
on.
Bye, Brittany. I
Bye.
love you. I
I'm
hope you
trying to figure
enjoyed
out
the
how to hang
show.
out. I did so much. I love this so
You did
much.
Yeah, you come on.
great.
Well,
You
you're
did
welcome to
really
come on
great.
anytime you want.
Yeah.
I'm a vegan too. I want to try some of your food.
Oh, okay. I got the recipes. I got the recipes. I
Well, I
told.
like. I had tofu, a tofu sandwich today. I've been experimenting with
Okay,
tofu.
how'd you do it? Did you fry it? Did you bake it?
No, I baked it with grapeseed and cornstarch, and you got to press it and
Yeah.
press my tofu and
Uh-huh.
all the things. Yes, I
You
love the earth.
you got the brag seasoning?
Uh, no, I don't think no. Is that wait? Is that the nutritional yeast? Is
Okay, it's
that
the
what it's
same.
called?
It's the same company. Bragg's liquid aminos. It's like soy sauce.
Okay, okay. I have to
Get
try
that.
that.
Get that. Next time you make that. Next time you make that baked tofu or fry oven fry. You can oven fry too. Like shallow
Hmm.
grease at the bottom. Start using coconut oil. Coconut
Okay.
oil. Yes. There's two different coconut oils. There's refined and unrefined. There's one you bake with, one you don't bake with. Okay.
Okay.
The one that you bake with doesn't taste like coconut. It's
Okay.
they take that coconut flavor out and get you write this down.
I'm listening. I'm listening. It's
Bragg's liquid aminos. It's like soy
okay.
sauce. Bragg's liquid
Okay.
aminos.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I just be I be seasoning and throwing it in the oven. So that's good. That's good
Okay,
to
yeah,
know.
yeah. It's just a way to season it. You press that liquid out and you put the Bragg's
Yeah.
on there.
Hmm.
It's
We
more
can
to
make,
come. We
that
have
make
more.
me want a steak.
Ooh,
Yeah.
tofu steak.
We got lion's mane. We got some lion's mane here. You can
There's
have that.
okay. She'll try it. She will.
Good
She just
try. We
got
gotta
to.
be healthy, Coca.
No, I like it. If I like the food, I don't care if it's vegan, if it's meat. I just like to eat.
Yeah, you've been
I know
stepping out.
you
You've been
like
stepping
to
out
eat.
your box lately. Like for the past few years, actually.
Hmm.
Like I remember when you went to California, you was trying crumpets and little bites and all kinds of stuff. Should be trying stuff.
That's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it was really good
Yeah.
to be on the show with you. And yeah, we have to do this again when we find another cute little topic or something.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Brittany. I love you. I'm about to get these
I
kids in the shower and stuff.
Okay.
love you.
Love you
Bye.
too. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Kiss
girl.
the baby for me, Britt.
I will.
All right, Leo. All right, bye bye.